New horror story. Final recording. I am the midnight bus driver of Route 47. Look, I'm only telling you this because I can't take it anymore. And if something happens to me tonight, someone needs to know the truth about Route 47. I've been driving the midnight bus for 3 years now. Same route every night. Downtown to the suburbs, 43 stops, crossing Millfield Bridge at exactly 2:17 a.m. The pay's decent, the passengers are mostly harmless drunks and night shift workers, and I thought the worst thing I'd ever see was someone puking in the back seats. I was wrong. It started 6 months ago when they rerouted us over the old bridge instead of the highway overpass. Budget cuts, they said. The bridge spans this massive concrete pit that used to be a quarry. Now it's just this black void that the city pretends doesn't exist. During the day, you can't see much down there through the chain link fence. But at night, when my headlights sweep across that darkness as we cross, that's when I started seeing things. The first time, I thought it was construction work. These pale figures moving around down there in the shadows, maybe 50 feet below. But construction crews don't work at 2 a.m., and they sure as hell don't move like that. Jerky, unnatural, like broken marionettes. I slowed down, squinting through the driver's side window, and that's when I heard Mrs. Kowalski in seat 12 start whimpering. "Don't look down there, driver," she whispered, her voice shaking. "Never look down there." But I couldn't help myself. Night after night, I found my eyes drawn to that pit. The figures became clearer. Dozens of them, maybe hundreds, wandering in endless circles. They wore hospital gowns, work clothes, wedding dresses, all of it gray and tattered. Their faces were wrong. Stretched too long, eyes too wide, mouths hanging open in silent screams. The smell started creeping in through the air vents around week 3. Sweet and rotten, like flowers left too long in a funeral home. It made passengers gag and cover their noses, but nobody ever asked what it was. They all seemed to know somehow. The regulars would close their eyes tight when we approached the bridge, gripping their seats until we'd crossed. Then I started recognizing some of the faces down there. Mr. Patterson, who used to take my bus every Tuesday to his dialysis appointments. He'd been dead for 2 months, but there he was, stumbling around that pit in his favorite cardigan. Sarah Chen from the bank, who had died in that car accident last winter, still wearing her work uniform. They looked up at the bus as we passed, and their eyes, they knew me. They reached upward with skeletal fingers, mouths moving soundlessly. I should have quit. Should have transferred routes, found another job, anything. But I couldn't. Every night I felt this pull, this compulsion to drive that route, like something was calling me back to that bridge. The truth is, I made a deal. 3 years ago, my daughter Emma was dying. Leukemia. The doctors gave her weeks, maybe days. I was desperate, broken, willing to try anything. That's when I met him in the hospital parking lot, a man in an expensive suit who seemed to know exactly what I was going through. He offered me a choice. Emma could live, have a full, healthy life, but I'd have to work for him. Drive a special route, transport certain passengers, and never ask questions. The price seemed too good to be true, but Emma's alive today because I said yes. I didn't understand what the job really meant until tonight. Tonight, the bus filled up differently. Instead of the usual collection of late shift workers and barflies, my passengers were silent, ethereal figures who boarded without paying. They sat perfectly still, staring straight ahead with hollow eyes. I recognized some of them from the pit. As we approached the bridge, I felt the bus growing heavier, like we were carrying more weight than physics should allow. The engine strained, the steering wheel vibrated under my hands, and that sweet rot smell became overwhelming. Through the rearview mirror, I watched my passengers begin to fade, becoming translucent, then disappearing entirely. That's when I realized what I've been doing all these months. I'm not just a bus driver, I'm a ferryman. Route 47 doesn't end at the suburbs, it ends in that pit. Every night, I've been collecting souls, bringing them to their final destination. The living passengers, the ones who close their eyes and grip their seats, they're just along for the ride, witnesses to something they can barely comprehend. And now I understand why Mrs. Kowalski always sits in seat 12, why she takes this bus every single night, even though she never gets off at any of the stops. She's been dead for 5 years. The bus is empty now except for me, and we're approaching the bridge again. but this time feels different. This time, I can see Emma standing by the side of the road up ahead, looking exactly like she did before she got sick. She's smiling and waving, but her eyes are just like theirs. I think my 3 years are up. I think tonight I don't get to drive back. But here's what's keeping me awake. What's making my hands shake as I record this. If I've been dead this whole time, if this has all been some kind of purgatory, then who the hell has been taking care of Emma? Thank you for listening. If you like the story, please don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe for more daily stories. Thanks.